Hi, for today's teardown, this Nikon Coolpix 950. It was released in 1999. It is a 2 megapixels digital camera. And the very innovative design back in the time was the rotating lens assembly, which Nikon reused for a number of other models. But now I believe they do not do it anymore. So it was not a cheap camera, it was a semi-professional camera almost, quite very expensive even. It was my dream camera, but I could not afford it back in the time. So we have a pretty decent LCD screen. We have a magnesium alloy body and this rotating lens assembly with quite a good lens and a protective glass in front of the lens. So why I am removing it from my collection? There is several issues with this camera. First, this is wobbling around. Then I have an issue with magnesium alloy turning into white powder. And usually it is something you cannot stop. Also, the grip here is not the original one. Okay, we will have a test of it. There are batteries in it. So it is still more or less working. Sometimes it is acting weird, but it is working. It can take photos. It is quite slow, this camera. It can play. Look how slow it is when you play. Is it doing anything? I have to enable the display first. And then first it shows you a low resolution picture and then it loads the full resolution. Quite interesting. So the funny thing with this camera is the zoom. It is impressively slow and noisy. I do not know if you can hear. In fact, it makes a fun noise. Seems almost like a digital noise in the speaker. Not sure what it is really. So if I take a photo, you will see it is not really fast to record. It is recording. And now it is ready. So I will put the zoom beside the camera microphone and will be able to listen to the noise. It is quite funny. So this is using compact flash cards and 4 AA batteries. There is a little display on the top here, a status indicator. There is a real optical viewfinder also, with adjustment for your eye, with autofocus good light and flash good light. This must be a light sensor and the self-timer LED probably. The viewfinder here. And it is also a thumb wheel button here to set mainly the settings in the manual mode, I believe. So it was quite a good design, except maybe for this zoom button, which is not really easy to access. It should have been better to have it here somewhere, I guess, because here is the power button in fact. And we have the serial plug jack to connect it to the computer, of course. No USB back in the time, so it was probably very slow to transfer the photos. And here some accessory flash, I believe, plug. Okay, so I will remove the batteries. I will remove the compact flash. And with a screwdriver I will remove all the external body screws, and we will be able to have a look inside. Well, we will completely take it apart even. So I will be right back. Okay, we are a few screws later. Now I should be able to pry open the body panels. Yes, this is quite easy at this point at least. And you can see we have a second shell inside, plastic shell, for this flash and zoom assembly with a nice copper piece here. So this is supposed to be a magnesium alloy, but really to me it looks like it is just aluminum. Second half of the camera should come off also. It is supposed to, at least. Oh. Front part it came off. Here is the battery door. We have an issue with this rear part. Maybe I did forget a screw. Does not look like I did forget a screw. Ah, here we are. Just a matter of pulling. And by the way, today the sun is really annoying, as you can see. There are clouds and it is hiding and reappearing. So in this half we have all the electronics, in fact, battery compartments. So also there is a factory manufacture thing here. It is written in 1999, February of 1999. Interesting. This part comes right off. This is just the button. Okay, what to do next? Here is the display. This comes off also. So I guess the next part is to attack one side or the other, probably. I will start with this zoom assembly. So this is maybe not original factory. Seems it is a bit of sticky tape, regular sticky tape. We have a number of screws to remove in here. To access the inside of this module. Not sure where I am going. No, here it is. So we have the zoom assembly, the optical viewfinder assembly, as you can see here, and of course the flash capacitor, which I will immediately take care of because it can be pretty harmful. So let's see if it is charged or not. I guess it was charged. Quite impressive spark here. It was definitely a good idea to discharge it. Here we have a front part with glass in front of the lens, and 2 or 3 more screws. We will be okay for this side. Here we are. This part is holding the little connector here, and there is a sub connector. the quite neat, this thing here. It is an aluminum ring with tempered glass with probably a UV filter as well. And it looks like we have a threaded ring here. Should require a spanner wrench probably to undo it. I have one. So now that this part is safe, I can disconnect stuff. There is one connector here, so it is probably not the correct best way to deal with such ribbon connector, but anyway, it is not coming back together, so small PCB here that comes off with an analog device clips on it. So first PCB, this assembly here allows I guess to disconnect completely the thing from the main unit. There is one more flex cable here for the, and one more, so really a lot of interconnections in this thing. Here we are. So you can see in this design of a rotating lens assembly, they did use flex cables, but in other models of Nikon cameras with the same design, they did use very fine copper wires with coating on them, with no insulator but a coating like magnet wires in fact. But here it is flat flex, so it is probably doing some kind of spool in here. We will find it later. Here we have a zoom assembly with the attached optical viewfinder. This part must be full of mirrors probably, so it will be for later. And here we have the flash assembly. Pretty straightforward, I guess, with a very generic Rubicon photo flash capacitor. Okay, now we will disassemble this part. So I do not know exactly where to start with this thing. There is a screw here. I cannot do it. Maybe it will allow to lift this assembly. No. Yes, yes. In fact, there is board-to-board interconnects keeping it in place. We have some shielding wires here, which are soldered, so I need to cut them. Quite unusual to see round wires in a camera. And this little speaker is soldered also. So this board carries mainly the LCD assembly, a neck clip with a huge number written on it, board-to-board connectors, the little thumb wheel button. By the way, there is no backlight on this LCD, so in here we just have a zebra strip. This part, it is clipped in place like so. So second PCB out of it. Next, we have a bunch of connectors. It looks like. First, I think I need to take care of this battery compartment. Yes, this is coming off. There will be two more screws in here. And yes, the door comes right off. just a plastic piece. And now we can see we have a stack of 2 layers of PCB, probably. Next part. This thing is quite tricky really. I see screws behind the button flat flex here. So I need to unglue the flat flex. Probably it will be the same thing on the top here. Yes, it comes like this. Here there is some kind of padding. Not sure what it is for. Some more copper shielding here, and some more annoying sun. Well, what next? This display, LCD display, maybe it is just glued in place. The whole part here is coming off, in fact. If I undo two screws in here. No. The amount of screw you on the way when you take apart such device is quite amazing. So here is the battery compartment. Just a box on the PCB with contacts on the outer focus, of course. Focus, please. There we are, maybe. Okay, so we have this is coming right off. Now we have the LCD assembly. Looks like this screw will take care of it. Maybe there is another one hiding somewhere. No. So we have the flat flex for the LCD, and you can notice, look at this guys, these wires for the LCD backlight. They are thick high voltage wires, so we must have some interesting piece of backlight in here. I guess we have some kind of flat CFL. It was very common in digital cameras in this time for little displays, because yes, look at, no, it is just, this time it is just a regular CFL tube back in the bottom here, not a flat CFL this time. And very little LCD display. Now about the electronics, so of course if we have CFL, we have some high voltage driver in here somewhere. What seems to be a thermal heat dissipating pad here. Some more white stuff, and these screws will allow me to remove, I guess, this PCB. Yes, one more board to bond, some stuff to unconnect. So here is this PCB with EV shielding on both sides. That is definitely interesting to peel off with no precautions whatsoever. So we have backup battery. Excuse me for the sun. We have backup battery here, little auxiliary stuff, probably power supply. And on this side, see if it wants to come off. What seems to be more power supply management, lot of coils, capacitors, little transformer even. Okay. Now what do we have remaining? We have motherboard, probably the main board with compact flash reader. We have this hinge assembly, and it looks like it is just one screw to remove, because here we have a clip. Yes. So as you can see, the flat flex going to the lens part is here and is connected on both sides on this PCB stack. This must be the main processor board. So of course, this shielding you can unsolder them properly when you need to reinstall them, but here it is really not necessary. So okay, what do we have? We have one big chip with one more thermal pad on it. It is a Fujitsu Japan Sparklight. Some little chip here. This chip has building the heatsink, so maybe it is for driving the motors. No, not sure. Maybe the motor driver are here somewhere. And this side is just the compact flash reader. Okay, so about this assembly, how to take it apart. We have some copper foil here, and it looks like 2 screws to remove to access the. There is really a lot of shadows today, sorry. Yes, this is the spool of flat flex going from one side to another. So it must be routed in this in one way or so another way. In this part there is here the hinge part really with 2 metal plates. Other side is the same, plastic part. Here is a sensor for allowing the camera to know in which direction is the lens probably. And here we are, so all the signals go from one side to another in this flat flex. Obviously we have thicker tracks for the power supplies. Okay, so next part will be taking apart this zoom assembly when the sun will be leaving me alone. Okay, I'm back. So the only remaining part with the camera is this lens assembly. So first here we have an interconnect between 2 flex wires. It is interesting, they did use a washer and some kind of insulating washer to press to fit together 2 flat flex with contact pads. It is this technique was really often used in film cameras, like in SLR cameras. If you take apart Canon or Nikon, you may find similar setups. Here we have, I do not know what we have, some piece of foam stuck Or maybe it is a linear encoder for the lens position, and yes, we have screws behind the thumb. It is just the flat flex which is made this way, going to the inner pass probably for shutter and iris. We have 4 wires going in this. So I will remove this board. Of course, here is the CCD sensor. Like so. So you have the higher cut filter, infrared cut, that you want to remove to make higher infrared photos. It is just a stack of 3 piece of glass. And the CCD sensor, probably Sony, this one here, has a built-in heatsink plate behind it. Now we have this assembly. Here we have a flat flex connecting some parts together. I think I will just cut it. We have an infrared sensor here for feedback about the position of this assembly, which must be the focus assembly. We have another one here. And here we have one of 2 motors. The other one is here, one for focus of course and one for zoom. So I will just cut the flat flex. Of course, if you were doing a matte lens over camera, you would unsolder here. So now we have the viewfinder assembly. This must be interesting because I guess we will have little mirrors and prism inside. So first I remove it from the module. Here we are. We have some piece here. Ah yes, the you have moving parts inside the optical viewfinder which follow the zoom. So your optical viewfinder shows you the actual zoom level. It is interesting. And here we have so the little wheel to set the eye adjustment, just by moving this piece of glass here, this lens. And here we have 2 covers, one each side, probably giving access to the optical goodies. They are clipped in place. So first one, as you can see, we have 2 moving lens here, like so. We have one prism which seems to be glued in place. No. So this is one prism assembly. It is just a piece of clear plastic, in fact. This thing. It's interesting. I guess we have another one on this side, because you can see where the path it is making. It is not in a straight line. So first one, and we have another one. This one is really over complicated. Look at this. Quite amazing the level of engineering you need for doing such stuff. So just a little lens here for adjusting the picture. They are not worth keeping, I guess, but this is interesting. Now the main zoom assembly. First I will remove this motor. So it is a little kind of stepper motor. As you can see, we have two coils in here, made in magnet wires. And there is a worm drive driving this little plastic piece all the way along. So this can be useful for making precision stuff, laser engraver maybe, something like this. You find similar ones in, you will find them also in floppy disk drives a lot. Then we can see here this assembly, how to open it. I have screws on this side. So this is all plastic, by the way. On a more expensive camera you will have die-cast parts, probably, but this was an expensive camera, but not enough. So here we have another small motor. This one is quite fun, with a very little worm drive on it. So this is worth keeping. It is not easy when I am zoomed in with the camera to remain in the frame, because in fact the frame area is very small. As you can see, here is one little motor. There is one output on each side on this one. This is interesting. And brass bearing here. So we have this piece with one lens, which is just stuck in place, pressure fit in place. And here we have two moving assemblies that will just come off. I will cut this. So this is the front lens assembly. And this part is screwed in place. Yes, I can unscrew it. It will release all of the pieces, I guess. Yes. Two little lenses. Of course, all I am doing here is bad for the optics. You do not want to touch lens with your fingers. You want gloves. But as it is not going to be reused anyway. Sometimes I had, a while back, I had a big overstock of optical parts like so, and I make a big grab bag on eBay of several kilos of lens elements, prism, mirrors and such. It went for 40 or 50 euros if I remember correctly. It was physics professor in school who did purchase it for making demos. More little parts here. Oh, by the way, here you can see I just undo any screw, let's see. So there is one more little motor assembly here, no, two. They are small solenoids for driving the shutter and iris probably. I did break the wire, so I cannot try to power them on. Yes, we have little shutter here. Two last screws to get off. And yes, we have One set of parts must be iris, the other one must be shutter. Okay, so here are all the parts of the camera. Now I have to figure out what to do with them. I will probably keep the optical parts to make a new grab bag. The electronics, sadly, there is not much I can do with them. So it may end in the recycling. I will keep some components as the small motors, the flash capacitor, stuff like this. But sadly now most of it is just junk. So thanks for watching, bye bye.